So can you hear me? So I just share the screen so you can see my screen. Hello, can you see my screen? I've just shared my screen. Okay, so thanks so much. And today we'll talk about the overall markets in China, especially on the IVD. So first of all, I would like to make a very brief introduction of SAI, who we are. Actually, we based in US, but now we have office in Asia. And in China, our office is in Shanghai and Beijing. We provide 4I partnership for all our clients, which is integration, insight, impact, innovation. And then we have local team, local language, local know-how, local database, and a lot of experts in China and also and in Asia as well. So we provide competitive intelligence, market access, market research services, which covered the whole life cycle of the product, from the pre-launch till the patent cliff. So we are the partner for you in Asia, which can provide all kinds of research in China, especially in the medtech area. Okay, now let's move on to the, sorry. So you cannot see my screen. Sorry. So now let's move on to the overall markets. So actually you can see that today we focus on the IVD market in China, which including the clinical chemistry, the clinical immune and molecule diagnosis, hemo, POCT, and pathology. So all the data we show today is based on the government statistics, the third-party report, and also our previous experience in IVD and our analysis. Okay, so let's see the macro environment in China. We can see that the number of population who's above 60 years old. We can see that the number of old patients, old people, they're growing very fast. And in the year of 2030, it will reach around 270 million population in China, which around 19% of all the total population. And then we can see that the number of hospital visits, including the public and the private hospital. And we can see that the number of population, the number of visits reaches around 12 billion visits in 2030. So which means we have very increasing demand on IVD tests, especially reagents. And then we can see the hospital, the number of hospital, including the public hospital and private hospital, is also keep increasing in the next few years. And then the number of ICL, which refers to the independent clinical laboratory, so it will be around 3.5 thousand in 2030. So which means the demand on IVD device equipment keep increasing in the next few years. Okay, so how large is the IVD market in China? We can see that in China, in 2023, it will reach around 60.6 billion USD. We can see that it keeps increasing in the past few years, but now in 2023, it decreased. It decreased a little because of the VBP, which is implementation after 2022. So which means it will impact the market a lot. But refer to the huge base in China. So in future, we foresee that the whole market will continue to increase in the next few years. And then we can see the overall market by segments. So this one is the market share by product segment. We can see that immune will keep stable in the next few years. And for biochemistry, it will also be quite stable. But for PRC, especially qPRC, it will increase fast. And then pathology, and then POCT, and then for the others. But now for immune, it's around 37% based on the total market. And then we can see the market share by hospital, by market segments. We can see around around 58% is contributed by the public hospital, and then followed by the private hospital, and then the ICL, and then the other medical institution, just like physical examination center. So for private hospital, it will increases faster than public hospital as well as ICL because of the public hospital. Actually, the base is quite huge, and then the penetration is quite matured. But for private hospital, the number of private hospital increases faster than public hospital, and then the ICL, the demand of the IVD test increases even faster than a private hospital. So this is the overall market in China for IVD. And then let's move on to the competition dynamics, which you will be very interested. So we can see that in China, there are more than 1,000 IVD players actually right now. But in the past few years, it will be around 2,000 players in China. So you can see that in the past few years, many small IVD players, especially local players, they disappeared or they are merged by the larger players. So now it's quite centralized, especially to those large, huge players. So we can see that the top players in China, it occupied around 40% of the total market. We show the top 10 here. So 5 MNC players, 5 local players. And we can see that Roche and the top MNC players, they occupy around 26% of the overall market in 2023. But there are still a lot of small players occupied around 60% in total in China market. But as we said, due to the intensive competition, the small companies will become fewer and fewer in the future, and the market will become more and more centralized in China. So we can see that there are 5 types of IVD players in China market. The first one for sure, those are the huge giants, MNC players, which are the traditional leaders in IVD industry. And they focus more on the high-end device equipment, and they are the high-end provider. And then local jumbo companies, which are, for instance, Marui, which is the listing company in China. Actually, they have a lot of products. The portfolio are very comprehensive, so they just want to equip their portfolio by different kind of products. So IVD is one of their portfolio products. So what are their features they can benefit the most from the local favor policy? And the combo of their products will benefit the department, I mean the hospital, the HCP more than those companies which can provide single products. So these two will take most of the whole market share in China. And then we move on to the next 3. The third one's previously as leading distributors, though, so they started the new business and penetrate into IVD industry. So their penetration to low-tier city is very fast, but they are not the traditional manufacturer, so their products focus more on those mid-end and low-end products. And then the crossover player, which means they used to be the player in POCT or other products or even pharmaceutical manufacturers, but now they expand their business into IVD to make their portfolio much more comprehensive. And then a very small local players, they focus more on the innovative solutions and medium-sized, there are medium-sized companies. So these are the types of key players in IVD market in China. So let's move on. So this is the policy impact on the IVD industry. We can see that for the blue ones, they are the drivers to the whole industry. For the gray one, actually, they kind of, we cannot say a barrier, but it kind of, impacts on the volume and price to the industry. So we can see the first one is the medical device unified coding, so which means the price will be much more transparent and the market will be much more standardized. So this will be good to all those large players because they just follow the rules. But this is not good to those small companies because they conduct their business more commercial wise. So this will impact both on the volume and price, and the degree of the impact is quite huge. And then the VBP expansion. We know that in China, the VBP started in the medical device and consumable product started in 2015 or 2016, 17. So it expanded to from the high value consumable to device, and now it covered part of the IVD market. So the impact to the market is the price. The in-hospital price will cut down, but the volume will increase. So it's a kind of, the two coins, the two sides of the coins. It will bring more volume, but the price is decreased. So it will depend on how you balance your product and how you balance your market. And then the DRG. So the DRG will be covered the whole country by this year, actually. So this means that in the past, the HCP, they might prescribe more, IVD test, but now maybe they will be limited. And then the local favor for some low-end products, the hospital they prefer to buy the local products. And then the new infrastructure, which means more hospital and more demand. So now this is a picture of the VBP in China of IVD in China. We can see that now almost the whole country have been covered by the VBP. But as I mentioned, that it's the two sides of the coin. The market will be more mature and transparent, and will be benefit to premium high-end innovative products. So this is the actual, the policy in China, and will be a long-term impact to IVD market in future. Okay, this slides are quite heavy, but I will just tell you the key insight. So we can see that due to the increasing patient in China, actually for chronic disease and for acute fatal disease will be the key target for the hospital. So which means for the blue ones, these are the chronic non-infection disease, and for the green one, these are the acute fatal disease, will be very, have very good opportunity for IVD tests in China in the future. So here we list several current diagnostic methods in China, and then these are the future trend. We can see that the early diagnosis and the blood marker will be a trend in the future. So this is the business opportunity for all of you. And then the trend is become more customized, so consumerization. So which means the POCT and the rise of the home testing, and then the precision medicine and the companion diagnosis will be also a trend in the future. So these are the examples. I will not talk about these in detail. And now we can see how those MNC and local player will play in this market. We can see that the low tier market will be occupied by local player for sure. And for high end will be dominated by the MNC players for sure. But for mid tier, both sides will be penetrated to the mid-tier market. So we can see that for MNC, they started their localization, and also they have a lot of cooperation with the local companies, and they have dual brand and OEM with original brands, and they find some local partners in China. So these are how the MNC they penetrate to mid-tier market or even to the low-tier market. Okay, this one is the trend for the IVD industry. We can see that in future it will become disease oriented. The business model will have a little bit change. We can see that bots, for example, it's cooperate with some association CAARC, and then this is focused on the lung cancer. So we can see that the association, the HCP, and then collaborate, including the clinical lab and radiology and imaging department. They will find a total solution for the diagnosis of lung cancer, which might bring new business to the company. And then the digital tool. The digital tool will from diagnosis, efficiency, and healthcare decision support and disease management. So actually, this is quite popular in China because due to the COVID, the patient and CP, they have the habit to use the digital tools to manage their patient or manage their disease. So this will also be a trend. And then the regional diagnostic center. So we can see this is conducted by a lot of local player. They cooperate with hospitals and then some ICL to create a regional center to attract the tests to be conducted in their center. And then the academic facilitation, which means everything will be AI and will conduct a lot of trial in China, and then to sponsor a lot of local projects, and then to benefit the HCP, etc. Okay, so let's draw the conclusion. So in China, we can see that the market is very huge. We have a lot of population, the increasing aging population, and then the increasing demand. And then the market is still keep increasing, especially the organic growth is dramatically, it's two digital increase. But we also face a lot of challenge, for instance, the VBP, DRG, local favor, etc. But also we have a lot of opportunities. The opportunities are not for the VBP product, but the non-VBP products. For instance, the precision, the integration, digitalization, customization, something like that. So in China, if you want to conduct a business, you have to avoid or you have to face the challenge, but we also need to probe your opportunity in China and to get your right business in China. Okay, that's all. If you have some questions, you can you can type in the chat, or we can share you the slides after the conference. So any
Thank
questions?
you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll take the questions all at the end, if that's okay, and direct them to you just so we keep moving. And as Stephanie mentioned, we will provide all the slides and information shared today after these sessions as well. So to look out for them.